I'm Jim Baitchtal, a geologist with the U.S. Forest Service. Everyone knows that a cave is underground, but most people don't realize that caves originate above ground. This exposed rock hides a magic and fragile world beneath. These fractures connect the surface to the caves below. Normally, this rock would be covered with vegetation and large trees. This sculptured surface is part of a karst landscape. Karst is limestone that is riddled with caves, sinkholes, and underground streams. The recent discovery of the caves in the karst lands on Prince of Wales Island suggests that one of the most important geologic resources in the world might be right here in our backyard in southeast Alaska. Prior to 1987, only a few of the local residents knew about these resources. Since then, with the help of an army of volunteers, we've inventoried over 300 caves. We discover approximately 50 caves every year. Before showing you how the karst ecosystem functions, let's see what a cave looks like from the inside. This is El Capitan, the largest known cave in Alaska, with nearly 2 miles of underground passage.
Look at that one, how it's forming, going fat on the bottom.
El Capitan began forming perhaps 200,000 years ago. Its magnificent features sculpted by water running down from the surface above. This is what I'd like to wash. The stable environment of the caves provide ideal refuge for wildlife: bear, wolf, deer, and bats. And in the sea caves, a variety of nesting birds. Visitors to caves should be aware of the fragile nature of these beautiful resources. Flowstone and soda straws that took hundreds of years to form can be ruined in a careless moment.
You know, if you can reverse a process just with the oil on your fingers and stuff like that.
That's true. And back on the Hot Fudge Sundae in the back, you can actually see the handprints very clearly of where people have touched the flowstone back there. These caves are a blueprint of history. We are gaining new insights into the geology, biology, and archaeology of southeast Alaska. We hope the caves will tell us more about how early native people used these caves and migrated throughout the region. The story of these magnificent caves is really the story of water. Water that has rushed or percolated slowly down from the surface for thousands of years. The genesis of a cave system actually begins high in the alpine area. Water from the mountains begins the journey downward that will eventually enter a cave system. This is Beaver Falls. It's a large cave system that accepts water from a drainage up this waterfall that issues from a beaver dam. The beaver dam acts as a collector of very acidic groundwater, or surface waters, which go subsurface right here into a very extensive cave system. It's a very dangerous cave system, and that at high flows it completely floods, and I would be standing approximately in 30 feet of water if I was to be here when this cave is flooding. From the mountains down, all parts of the surface ecosystem play an important role in the creation and sustenance of the caves. It's a good example of a forested wetland, and these exist on top of this karst, on top of glacial hardpan. This is a peat and sedge-dominated system, and the sphagnum moss within this system generates high acidity. These are 3 different species of sphagnum moss. They grow in a mosaic across this wetland, some closer and some farther away from the bog ponds. Each one grows with a different pH value. And within each group, you'll have a mosaic of pHs out here on this wetland. And the waters that issue from these systems run off, and wherever they come in contact with the limestone, vertical shafts and cave systems develop. We are discovering that the underground karst landscape supports some of the most productive old-growth forests in the area. This is a good example of a spruce and hemlock forest atop karst. In most of the other ecosystems in southeast, because of the fact that they're poorly drained, we would be standing around in ponded water in these recesses. But this is exceedingly well drained, and the water is moving down through these fractures in the forest floor and into the cave systems below. And it's that well-drained nature and the very thin soils on top of this limestone, they're very nutrient-rich soils, that create this very productive and fertile forest. This is all the thicker that the soil is commonly atop the limestone. And the entire productivity of this forest is tied up in this little thin organic layer of soil, and the chemical reactions that occur at the bottom of this organic layer and right atop the bedrock. We believe that the forest is drawing the nutrients right from the rock itself. This is a good example of a sinkhole. This is a direct surface connection to the subsurface cave systems below. The water that flows into here carries nutrients into the cave systems below. The journey of the water, which has formed the karst system, is not over once it hits the cave's floor. Water exits from the caves and is carried by streams, sometimes many miles, down to the ocean. Water that issues from a karst landscape is rich in nutrients. The aquatic community surrounding caves has been found to be 8 to 10 times more productive than non-karst area waters. From mountain to sea, the story of water. That is the story of the karst land. Before leaving the karst system, Let's return again underground for one more important point about the caves. And that has to do with safety. The cave systems are wet, muddy, and cold. We brought in special lights for this video, but normally one would have the aid of only small beam flashlights. Footing is often very dangerous.
There are a lot of handholds right here.
It's really slimy up there, guys. Entrances to most caves are hazardous. One should wear a caving helmet with light and warm, waterproof clothes and boots. Keep in mind the air temperatures in caves, even in summer, is often below 40 degrees. Proper planning and good caving ethics are essential. We need to be aware of the impact our visit will have to a cave. Only through our care will these mysterious, fragile, and vital resources be protected. In the past, we've looked upon a cave as an independent part of a landscape. Now we're learning that caves are part of a much larger and interdependent ecological system. We're developing new management strategies to protect the karst systems. We're focusing our research to learn more about their workings. One thing is clear, the karst and cave ecosystems in southern Southeast Alaska are of national and international significance. They're resources with staggering scientific potential, a resource for our imagination. Through these dark entrances, we may learn more about ourselves.